Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the Animaniacast.
Choose your weapon.
Okay. How's this?
How did you do that?
You mean with the big comedy cannon? You really want to know?
Arr!
I'll take that as a yes.
We are a podcast dedicated to the Animaniacs. Each and every episode, we're going to discuss a different episode and discuss the cultural references, the gags, the characters, the everything, the fantasticness that is the Animaniacs. And joining me, as always, are my little brother over here, Nathan.
It's Nathan.
And from across the country, Georgia Peach herself, it is Kelly.
Hello.
Kelly, are you tired of everyone saying, are you a Georgia Peach? Is that...
No, because most people don't say that.
Oh, there we go.
No one has ever said that.
No.
So many reasons say that.
Sorry.
Most people who aren't from the South or who meet me, usually just comment on my accent.
Oh. See, I don't even notice it that much.
I don't notice it. Maybe we just have the same.
But we're from the South, too,
Yeah,
sort of.
true.
The Southwest.
That's true.
So we sort of have we have a different type of Southern accent. Anyway, today we are discussing episode 3 from season 1 of Animaniacs, which originally aired on September 15th, 1993. And what a great episode it is. There are 3 fantastic segments to go through today. We're going to go through each one of them and discuss some of our favorite quotes, some of our favorite moments. And at the end of the episode, we're going to give the episode a Water Tower rating. So, first of all, the theme song, Nathan, you must have been happy that this episode did not start off.
It did not have the black and white intro, which I was quite pleased to know that it was a different episode than the last one.
Good, you didn't have to second guess yourself.
No confusion there.
Yeah, you weren't confused at all, which was good. So number one, that's got to help your rating at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. So there was a cool verse variant in this episode. It was "Come Back Shaney."
Come back, Shaney!
Yeah, it completely confused me. You did not get the reference.
You didn't get the reference at all?
I did. I had to read the book.
You had to read the book. When did you read the book?
9th grade.
Yep, I think that's about the time I read it. See, Nathan, it's from the book Shane, or the movie Shane, which I do remember reading the book in high school and not really liking the book that much. But I do remember reading it in high school, and then we saw the movie Shane.
Mm-hmm.
And Dot is dressed up. I forget the actor's name who plays Shane. Oh gosh, he was in a bunch of. Look that up, Nathan. He was in a lot of film noir detective movies and stuff. But at the end of that movie, there's the character. I believe his name is Joey, actually.
Oh, I found it. He was portrayed by Alan Ladd.
Alan Ladd. And he has kind of a droopy face. But he's usually shown in his little his detective outfit right there. But his other famous role, other than what other movie? Let me see your iPhone there, Nathan. Whoop. I remember seeing him in 2. There he is. I remember seeing him in the Black Dahlia. The blue. Is it the blue or the black? The blue. The Black Dahlia is real.
You must really love the movie.
I really love this thing. I really am a fan of him, and I just want everyone out there to know how much I love this actor.
Wow.
Alan Ladd.
Really? All right.
No, but yeah, Shane, I do remember the movie, and the little boy, Joey, is yelling at him, "Come back, Shane!"
Come back!
So there you go. Come back, Shaney. Now you know, Nathan.
Animaniacs.
Yeah. So, and Dot is dressed up like Shane, I believe, there too. She has that kind of cowboyish outfit going on. We have 3 different segments to go on, and the show started off kind of in a different way.
Oh, yeah.
This one started off with a tower. It was
a tower escape.
A tower escape, I guess, is the best way to call it, because it just showed the water tower for a couple seconds, and then a giant plank comes out, and the Warners escape on a go-kart, I guess. Yeah. And it just was kind of cute. It was a little bit of filler, but it wasn't too much.
I like the way it was shot.
Yeah.
They're zooming down, and then they're kind of flying up in the air, and it's like the camera pans up to the sky, and you see, like, I guess the bright reflection of the sun, and I don't know, it was just a really cool, like, cinematic looking shot.
Yeah, the animation of it was a little higher grade than some of the other segments, including segment 1 right here, which is the HMS Yakko. It had varying degrees of animation quality, I think, in this. Yeah. There were the Warners looked different depending on what scene they were in. But we'll get into that, because I really do like this particular segment called HMS Yakko. Was written by Paul Rugg, and it was directed by Michael Gerard. The synopsis is basically this. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot trespass on Captain Mel's beach, and he tries to use everything within his power to make them leave. And basically after Yakko sings they all sing a bunch of Gilbert and Sullivan songs in this particular episode. And eventually Captain Mel just runs off being chased by a cannibal. And that's the end of the episode. So I guess they got to stay on the island at the end.
Yeah.
The only thing it didn't have really was it just didn't have a clear resolution, I guess, at the very end.
I was thinking the same thing. It really needed a better ending, I think. So I was just like, oh, it's over?
That's it. That's it. What are your thoughts about this? Any favorite lines? Any favorite moments of this particular segment? Because I have quite a few things to say about this, because I love the Pirates of Penzance. So I'll let you guys go first. Kelly, what do you think? What did you like in particular about HMS Yakko?
I've always loved the what is the name of that song? It's the one that's based on I Am a Modern Major General.
Very model of a cartoon individual.
Yes, a cartoon individual. I don't know why my mind blanked on that, but I've always liked that one. It's a lot of fun to sing, and it was on the soundtrack I had when I was younger, and it's catchy, and all the little gags in it. It's just cute, and it kind of really sums up what they are. You know, I mean, they can manipulate the world around them and make anvils drop on people's heads and everything else. So it's a great summary of the Animaniacs and their magical powers.
Yes, and I liked the shout out to Daffy Duck and Tweety Bird and
Babs and Buster Bunny.
Yes, I was like, Babs and Buster Bunny.
Yeah, that's nice.
I do remember like having those characters, which they do show up every now and then through cameos in this series. It was always cool. There was also a quick cameo for the Himalayan Eatery, the abominable snowman from Looney Tunes, if you remember that. Remember him, Nathan? The guy, I will call him George. Oh, come on. Kelly, do you know what the guy I'm talking about?
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Where did he go, George?
He loved sort of. He grabbed it was grapes of wrath, abominable snowman, basically, because I believe he loved I was going to say Buster Bunny. Bugs Bunny. He loved Bugs Bunny, and he kept like going, "Oh, I love him." And he kept like trying to pet him and everything.
Do you mean of Mice and Men?
Yeah, did I say that? Grapes of Wrath.
You said Grapes of Wrath.
Yes,
yeah,
Mice and Men. Okay. I'm very literate. I know all the classics.
Mice and Men make more sense because he actually.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding it right.
Yeah.
Just what I always wanted, my own little bunny rabbit. I will name him George, and I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
I'm not a bunny rabbit.
And pat him and pet him and...
You're hurting me. Put me down, please.
And rub him and caress him and...
I ain't no bunny rabbit!
I remember something else, too.
Okay, what else?
There's an appearance of a shark over the deck of the ship.
Uh-huh.
And for just about a note or two, there's some music that seemed vaguely reminiscent of the Jaws theme.
Oh,
just
cool.
a tiny bit.
Maybe
I'm reading into it because Spielberg obsessive.
Yes.
But I think it was there.
That's one thing that's a little harder to find online is a dissection of the music that's being played in the Animaniacs, but you can hear, especially in this particular episode, the Looney Tunes theme is kind of playing in the background. And especially in this first segment, you hear a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan stuff. Any other thoughts, Kelly, Nathan? What your favorite lines, favorite moments, anything like that?
Well, I liked when Captain L was singing along with the Animaniacs in the "We Shall Run and We Shall Flee" or
We
whatever.
shall run and we shall flee.
Yeah, that song. And then while he's singing, they just kind of sneak away, steal his little boat.
We should run and we should flee, then where would our story be? This could spell the bitter end for animated kids like them.
For the oldest Warner brother.
And his pretty Warner sister.
And the other Warner brother.
Their small lives I will smother. They should run and they should flee, then where would this story be? This...
Bon voyage! Bye-bye!
But yeah, the whole episode also was the animation. I kept noticing like some scenes. I'm just like, I just didn't like the way that's animated there.
Yeah,
the mouth didn't match quite what you're saying at all. Like
Yakko's nose looks huge in some side profile shots when he's talking to Captain Mel. His nose, it just looks off. So. And sometimes they look a little cuter than normal.
Yeah, they look.
There's a scene. One of the scenes I really love is when they're saying "arg arg 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 arg," and then Wakko goes crazy.
Too big. Better.
And I really like that moment. But they did look a little bit different. They looked a little cuter than normal. They didn't look bad, but they just looked definitely different than the scene that was right before that.
Yeah, the episode they just kept changing. And then the ending it was a little. I thought it should have had one more hit on the captain or a little bit better resolution at the end. I feel like a little rush. Yeah,
just a few more seconds, but it worked. They had to move on to the next segment, I suppose. Exactly. And how another one of my favorite just quick lines was, "This is my private pirate property," I believe is what it was, or was it private property?
Either way, there's one of the two. Yeah,
private property. I think it was private pirate property.
Ye be trespassers on me private pirate property.
Bet you can't say that 3 times fast.
Pirate penalty poply. Per.
You lose.
Nathan, can you say it?
Private pirate. No. Private pirate property. Nope.
You lose.
Cannot say it at all.
And Kelly, your turn.
Pirate private property, pirate private property, pirate private property.
The other way around. I thought it was private pirate property.
Private pirate?
Private pirate property.
There you go. See, Kelly's good enough.
She's better.
She and I'm not even going to try it, so I lose.
You lose.
Oh, there was one more thing I noticed.
Yes.
There was a sign when they landed on the island, and there were all these signs like "keep out" and "private property," like we were saying.
Right.
But there was a sign that said "dead men tell no tales."
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I'm aware, that's a reference to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, the whole island looked very Pirates of the Caribbean kind of thing going on. There was also a number that you could call, 555 something.
Our
matey. Yeah. So call those 555 numbers, kids. They really work. Try that out. You got to do it.
Okay.
But what I really was excited about for this episode was the Gilbert and Sullivan references, because this was essentially just a love song, a love ballad to Gilbert and Sullivan. So I'm a fan of the Pirates of Penzance, at least the movie version of it. The movie was, according to my DVD right here, made in 1982, and it stars Kevin Kline as the Pirate King. Angela Lansbury is in it as well, playing Ruth, the nurse of Frederick, who's played by Rex Smith, I believe. And of course, Linda Ronstadt is in it as well. And she looks really good back in 1982. But it's a really, really funny movie. This is a movie that I remember just watching over and over as a little kid. And a lot of the references went over my head, and then I started rewatching it in high school. And I got to tell you, for any people who are fans of Kevin Kline, I highly suggest watching this movie. You can get it on, I know you can rent it on Amazon for $4, and but I would just buy it.
Yeah, it was on Netflix at one point.
It was. I was
very excited.
It might go back on there. It's, you know how these things go off and on and everything like that. So if it gets on Netflix again, check it out. You won't be disappointed. And there are a ton of songs in this episode that reference either the HMS Pinafore or the Pirates of Penzance. So first of all, they have Yes, Brothers Warner. We're familiar with Hail, Hail, the gang's all here. But in Pirates of Penzance, it comes from the song With Cat-Like Tread, which is a very ironic song because the whole point of that song is the pirates are sneaking in on, I believe, the Major General's house, and they're talking about how quiet they are, and yet it's the most bombastic song in the entire there's cannon shooting, and they're screaming, they're shouting at the Major General's house at night, talking about how they're, a fly's footstep could be heard and everything. It's just a beautiful song, and I love that. So
Cat-like tread upon the grave we steal, in silence dread, a cautious way we feel. No sound at all, we never speak a word. A fly's footfall would be distinctly heard. Come, friends who call the sea, close to navigation, take another station. Let's verify the scene with a little bird.
Yeah, and Kevin Kline's dancing in that is...
Oh my gosh, yes.
His moves.
Oh, he's Okay, Kelly, I'm serious. I'm going to find a way for you to watch this movie, because Kevin Kline is doing moves with his sword, like jumping over his sword, and he's doing these like Russian kicks.
Yeah,
he's bending.
He gives it 110%.
I can't believe the athleticism of Kevin Kline in this movie. It is ridiculous. It is so good. It's just amazing every time. It's like Gene Kelly and Singing in the Rain. It's like you watch it.
I'll have to see it, because the only version I'm familiar with is like it's the pirate movie.
Yes,
which I think is kind of the same thing.
But I've never seen that, but I'm familiar with it. They're like, it's two
Pirates of the Caribbean.
No.
No. The one with Christy McNichol and I don't know, a bunch of other people, but it came out around the same time, and I think it's basically the same story, same characters, and but it took a more humorous approach, and there was even a scene. There's a sword fight scene, and they turn into lightsabers.
Oh,
I guess
okay.
to play off of the popularity of Star Wars at the time. So it's a little bit sillier.
Only one movie will have this sound.
The Pirate King!
And only one movie will have Christy McNichol and Christopher Atkins singing. Loving, laughing, leaping, and swinging their way through time in the biggest, most original movie in 100 years, the Pirate Movie.
Pirate? You mean like walking in the plank, buried treasure, hack, slash off with his head, and the Jolly Richard and everything?
Yes,
but that's the one I'm familiar with.
Yes, well, I would say that the Pirates of Penzance is already that's kind of interesting because it's a parody of a comedy to begin with, because the Pirates of Penzance is already a very very satirical, witty comedy that, even though it was written, I'm assuming I don't even know. I'm not an expert on this.
80s? No.
It was written, must have been 1960 that play was written. No, I'm kidding. But it holds up. A lot of it in the lyrical complexity is really fantastic. So just to get an introduction to some of that through this particular episode was really cool to see. Moving on to the next song, I am the evil pirate Captain Mel was a take on I am the captain of the Pinafore from the HMS Pinafore. Nathan, did you think of a particular Simpsons episode when you heard this?
Sideshow Bob's Simpsons.
Yep.
Bart Bake 'em Away Toys episode.
What never, no never, what never, hardly ever, he's hardly ever sick at sea.
Bake 'em away, toys. By the way, I was listening to our first episode and we totally misappropriated the voice. We said it was Mayor Wiggum, I think is what I said, or we said Chief Quimby. And it's Mayor Quimby and Chief Wiggum.
So stop writing us angry Twitter notes.
Yeah, people, stop it. But yes, that's one of the things I thought of was the HMS Pinafore when Sideshow Bob sung that to Bart and on one of their Cape Fear episode.
Yeah, it's a great one.
And yes, so and then We Shall Run and We Shall Flee, as Nathan was pointing out. That's from the HMS Pinafore as well. I believe it's called what do I have down here? Never mind the why and wherefore. All right, moving on. One of the biggest songs from this, as we mentioned, was I am the very model of a cartoon individual, which is a take on the Major General song, which in itself, when you hear the Major General song, it's a tongue twister.
I am the very model of a modern Major General, live information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the facts historical, from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both are simple and quadratical. About binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news. Lot of news. Got it. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse.
And a very complicated song to sing. One of the funny things from listening to it, Yakko says, from this bag here, why I can pull most anything imaginable. And I was, what's imaginable mean? Until I looked at the lyrics and saw that it was imaginable, but they had to say imaginable for cannibal.
Running. Oh yeah,
to say. So that was cute in the song right there. And of course, I also wanted to point out that throughout this episode, whenever you see the pirate ship, usually you hear this ba bum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum ba bum ba bum ba bum ba ba. And that is often heard in Pirates of the Penzance in the movie, at least. And that is a take on the song Away, Away, My Heart's on Fire, which is a fun song as well in the movie.
Away, away, my heart's on fire. I've earned this base deception to repay. This very night, my vengeance dire shall plant itself and go away, away.
Away, away, ere I expire, I find my duty hard to do today. My heart is filled with anguish dire, it strikes me to the core, away, away.
With falsehood foul he tricked us of our prides. Let vengeance howl, the pirate so decides. Our nature stern he softened with his lies, and in return tonight the traitor dies.
Yes, yes, tonight the traitor dies.
I don't know. If I could take one thing from this episode, people check out Pirates of Penzance.
Yeah, just skip the episode, see the...
No. Listen to the rest of this, but then watch Pirates of Penzance. You won't be disappointed.
And then watch the pirate movie because it has lightsabers.
Yeah, see, and lightsabers always make things cool.
Totally.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to check out the pirate. I'm gonna find a way to get you the Pirates of Penzance, Kelly, and then I promise to watch the pirate movie in exchange. I like this first segment a lot. It was just, it's a fun episode to sing along with. A lot of good stuff, and the majority of want to say at least half of it is all on the CD. So on the first CD soundtrack. So check that out as well. It's out of print, but you can find it someplace. Get that too.
We don't advocate that in this podcast.
No. Hey, you can get it on eBay. You can pay a lot, but you can get it. So let's move on to segment number 2. This is called Slappy Goes Walnuts, and it was written by Sherry Stoner, who I've got to figure out a way to get her on the show. I don't know if you guys know this about Sherry Stoner, but she was the original. You know how, like in Disney films, they have models that they actually, used for their characters. So there's like
I know this.
Yeah, there was a model for Tinkerbell, for example, and for Aurora, and Cinderella, all those characters. And Sherry Stoner, the writer and the voice of Slappy, was actually the model for one of the Disney princesses. Nathan? Kelly says she knows, but do you know which princess it might be?
I'm guessing Mulan?
No.
Oh.
They're kind of close, I guess,
really?
time period wise. No, not really. I don't know. We're about 10 years off, I think, actually. Okay. Kelly, who did Sherry Stoner, who was she the model for?
The Little Mermaid.
The Little Mermaid. Oh. She was the model for Ariel. So that wonderful gruff voice that we hear is the voice of Ariel.
Well, not the voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. She did not
do... She's the body.
She's the body. Yeah. Yes. Let me try that again. So the gruff voice that we hear is actually the body of Ariel. Pretty cool.
Body language.
Body language.
So, Kelly, what can you tell? What would be a basic synopsis of this episode, this segment, I guess you could say? What would you say?
Well, Slappy is watching TV and her little nephew Skippy shows up and he's eating cereal and it makes him really, really hyper. And she eats some too and then decides to get this crazy idea to go steal some walnuts from Doug the dog because she wants to make, what is it called? Walnut fig something.
Brain food.
Yeah, some brain food of some kind using walnuts.
What's you looking for?
I'm gonna make you some brain food. That's right, my famous walnut fig dough surprise.
What's the surprise?
I'm out of walnuts.
Yeah, and Skippy's saying, why don't we just go to the store? And she's like, that's no fun.
I don't know, Aunt Slappy. I think we should just go to the store and buy a bag of walnuts.
Oh, yeah, we'll have him in hysterics with that bet. 6 minutes in a checkout line. Ooh, somebody stop me, I'm laughing.
So she wants to go steal them and chaos ensues.
Yes. I don't remember liking this as much as I liked it last night. I was watching the episode last night with my wife, and we kind of said, and I think one of the first things she said was, I didn't really like Slappy Squirrel that much. And then we were watching it, and we were both laughing pretty darn hard at a lot of the stuff that was going on. I think one of the secrets with Slappy is that she talks to the audience a lot. She breaks the fourth wall a lot, and sometimes very, very subtly, just like, oh, thank you, Mr. Exposition.
Thank you, Mr. Exposition.
Stuff like that. Nathan, what do you like about this episode, this segment?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, as a kid, I remember not enjoying Slappy the Squirrel, and I don't know if it was just over my head or something. I remember liking a couple of them, but overall, I'd be like, Slappy. But this one, lots of jokes every couple seconds, just bam, bam, and plenty of, inside jokes almost, you feel like she's talking directly to you when she's saying the joke.
Yeah.
Even though the character's right next to her and just, and lots of references to old Looney Tunes cartoons, which I liked.
This is the episode I was referring to where you can hear some of the Looney Tunes theme play a little bit as they're talking about Doug the dog in the yard. Kelly, any thoughts of what you liked about this episode?
Well, I guess it was cool to meet Slappy. That was her introductory episode. But I just didn't like it all that much.
Oh.
I mean, I like Skippy. He's cute. He's adorable. But it didn't impress me a whole lot.
Oh, okay.
It's just I'm not so much with the physical gags.
Yeah.
I know they are an homage to the older cartoons and stuff, and it's cool when the Animaniacs do it. But I prefer like the witty dialogue and the funny writing more so than the physical gags. And there was just too many in this episode.
I did like the little things, like the subtle physical things, like when Slappy's talking and Skippy just cannot stop jumping up and down in the background. It's just like right next to her, and he's just jumping up and down.
I did realize something. And when you talked about Sherry Stoner, it kind of put two and two together because when Slappy's watching TV at The Wonderful World of Walnuts at the end, she talks about how Buddy Hackett's good in this.
Uh-huh.
And Buddy Hackett is the voice of Scuttle in The Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The Wonderful World of Walnuts. I hear Buddy Hackett's very good in this.
And so Sherry Stoner wrote the episode, and she was the Little Mermaid, and references a voice actor in The Little Mermaid.
There you go. I was wondering, why Buddy Hackett was being brought up for that. I hadn't known before. Have you been able to see World of Color in Disneyland yet, Kelly? World of Color, the thing in California Adventure?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. I mean, I've seen, like, bits of it, I think. And I've seen, like, YouTubes of it. But I've only been to Disneyland, like, 2 times. And I don't think I really saw the show live.
It's a must-see, or at least the older show is. They have a show right now with Neil Patrick Harris.
I have not seen the new one, but the old one, yeah.
The new one, the only good thing about the new one is that they show BB-8 rolling across the water.
Oh, I love BB-8.
Which is totally cool. But it should be called The Wonderful World of Neil Patrick Harris right now, who I love. I don't have anything against Neil Patrick Harris, but the original show, which you can see on YouTube, obviously YouTube videos can't, put justice on it.
Completely different.
But I would have had no idea what Wonderful World of Walnuts was referencing before seeing Wonderful World of Color, which of course was a TV show back in the 60s with Walt Disney when color TV sets were first coming into fashion. There were a few other quick little things. Did you catch that little thing where she's saying, "No wonder you like that bonkers show"?
No wonder you like that bonkers show.
Mm-hmm.
And I can only assume that's talking about the actual Bonkers cartoon show. Do you remember Bonkers, Nathan?
I don't remember that.
Bonkers T Bobcat, I believe.
I remember commercials. Or I never watched it. So.
It's a bad.
I didn't either.
It's a bad cartoon. It's like Roger Rabbit, but imagine a cartoon about Roger Rabbit, but not being funny.
Let's go bonkers. Yeah, totally nuts. Bonkers. No ifs, ands, or buts. Bonkers. Someone's stealing the show. JC, I gotta go. No. Bonkers. Things getting out of control.
Oh,
that was basically
jokes.
it was kind of like, it was basically the same thing. It was like Bonkers was a bobcat, and he was teamed up with a police officer, and he was a human. And there were tunes in this environment, and there were humans, but the humans got hurt in very toonish ways as well. So I don't know. It was trying to be like Roger Rabbit and failing miserably. It was just Disney's way of, let's take that formula and try to make it so we don't have to pay Amblin Entertainment half of our money for using Roger Rabbit. It didn't quite work out as well. So that quick little thing to Bonkers was nice. It was showing at the same time as Animaniacs, I believe, on Disney Afternoon. I also think that Slappy was she said a line that many people attribute to The Mask, which was "Somebody stop me."
That's right.
Yeah, so I was like, who said that first? And Slappy said it first before Jim Carrey.
Somebody stop me.
So there you go. Take that, Jim Carrey.
Oh, finally, Jim Carrey gets it.
Yeah, that's right. We're on you now.
Somebody stop me!
Nathan referred to the Xylophone Gag, and that's been seen a couple times in Looney Tunes. There was one from, let's see, I have it written down here, Ballot Box Bunny with Yosemite Sam and Bugs Bunny. The gag being Bugs Bunny is told to play some music on a piano, and the last note, of course, has the bomb, and Bugs is just missing the...
Yeah, he keeps playing it wrong.
He goes, ba-da-dun, da-dun, dun, 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 ding, 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 donk, donk. And then he does it a few times until, of course, Yosemite Sam says, "No,
you're doing it wrong. This is how you..."
Yeah, and he goes, and then he blows up. And then, of course, later, in a different cartoon, Daffy Duck tried to do the same gag with a xylophone instead.
Now, with your kind indulgence, I'll play those endearing young chums. Oh, no, you stupid rabbit! Like this!
I think I'll play those endearing young chums. Old gag, new twist.
I don't know. I did like it. I myself, I'm with you, Kelly. I'm not a huge slapstick person, but I think what won me over on this particular segment was just the talking to the audience, the wink and a nod thing. That perhaps my favorite line, which was when Skippy says,
"Yeah, but those were cartoons, and this is real life."
Don't tell him. He might crack.
So, just, those moments right there, just for me, helped that segment quite a bit. I liked it a lot. Well, Nathan, tell us about the third segment here.
So the third segment was called Yakko's Universe. Music and lyric by Randy Rogel. Rogel?
Rogel.
I'm going to stick with Rogel.
Rogel!
It was directed by Alfred.
He is not the Hamburglar. This isn't like Rogel.
Don't take burgers, Robble Robble.
Fraggle Rock.
No, not Fraggle Rock either.
Directed by
Rogel.
Alfred Jimeno.
Jimeno or Jimeno.
Anyways, it's all about Yakko singing how small we are as humans compared to the vastness of the universe, basically. Just, I really enjoy this song. Just, it goes from your own small town all the way to the jar that the universe is held in.
Yeah, kind of a Men in Blackish kind of ending, doesn't it?
Yeah. Which came first? This came before.
Before Men in Black.
Men in Black stole.
Men in Black stealing from the Animaniacs. Okay, so we've done the origin of how people steal from the Animaniacs, right? It's the mask and this. Okay, and Men in Black. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Kelly, what did you think about this song here? This.
I like it. It's another one that was on the soundtrack that I had, and I always thought it was really cute and catchy, and didn't like it as much, of course, as Yakko's World, Yakko's World. I thought it was fun, and I liked all the neat animation that kind of zips in and out of, kind of making the world bigger and bigger, only to end on the head of a pin at the very end of it.
Yeah, I think it gave a good introduction for kids to a very scientific way of looking at the universe and really creation in general, saying we don't know how we got here, but we're an important part here and everything. And I know for a lot of kids at that moment, of course, if you go to church, you're told, God made you and this is why you're here and yada, yada, yada. But for this is going to a much more analytical and much more vast point of view, which was really kind of cool to see, especially for introduction for our kids show. And yes, there's 9 planets and a sun, not 8, NASA. Jeez. Remember Pluto. You heard what happened to Pluto, right?
Yeah, Pluto no longer exists as a planet, but they also may be finding another planet this year.
Oh yeah, Planet X or whatever they're calling it.
We have the gravitational pull. We know it exists.
Just we haven't seen it.
Yeah, we just need to find it, but we know it's there.
Ooh.
So
That's right.
So there's 9 planets.
So the song could become up to date once again because they didn't mention exactly which 9 planets.
Exactly.
So it's like the in the Jedi library,
yes,
where there's like a big hole, and it's like there was something there.
Well,
now there's no.
That's exactly what it is.
Let's go to Jocasta Nu and find out.
Totally, and she can fuss at us.
If an item does not appear in our records, it does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
Someone erased it from
That's
the
in our libraries.
That's what happened to this planet.
So
I'm sorry, everything's a Star Wars.
It is. Anyway, so that was great. Any other thoughts about this? I mean, this song is it's quick, it's cute, and it does make you feel a little bit insignificant at the very end of it, but in a very positive way, I thought, which was kind of cool.
They did a good job at making you feel insignificant but important.
Exactly. The original line was apparently, you might think it got a little darker. The line is now, though we don't know how we got here, though we don't know how it got here, we're an important part here. It's a big universe and it's ours. But it originally went, you might think that you're essential. Try inconsequential. It's a small world after all. At least that's according to the Wikipedia page, and they're never wrong.
Well, they have lyrics too. Apparently, it was going to go through all of the planets of the solar system.
Oh,
and I have the whole lyrics. Apparently, this was from Randy Rogel. Yeah, I got it right. Rogel. He apparently sang this. At some place. Yeah.
But he's saying the original versions, and in that version, it actually went through all the different planets.
Yeah, so they changed that, though, because there was another song that they were working on that went through all the solar system.
Which we'll get to in a little bit as well. I love that song. The closest to the sun is the planet.
Oh, I love that one, too. We haven't mentioned the reference to Mickey Rooney.
Oh, yeah, Mickey Rooney. Which kids today have no idea who Mickey Rooney is. But Mickey Rooney was... well, when I was a kid, I knew Mickey Rooney most from Pete's Dragon.
A dragon, I swear I saw a dragon.
We're just tiny little specks about the size of Mickey Rooney.
I always think of Simpsons with Mickey Rooney, just as Fall Out Boy.
Jiminy Jellikers, Jiminy Jellikers, Jiminy Jellikers.
We're shutting down production.
He also played a very controversial character in Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Oh, yes. I've never seen Breakfast at Tiffany's, but I know... What, have you?
No.
Okay. But
I like Audrey Hepburn. I like the film.
Yes, I know exactly what part you're talking about, because Mickey Rooney played a Chinese guy, right? He was supposed to be playing a Chinese guy, but he played the most stereotypical, like something that would be funny. It was antiquated humor at best, because I believe, from what I remember, huge teeth, glasses on, and a horrible accent.
Yeah, I don't know what all led into his casting for that role, but but I looked on the internet where everything's true, but it talks about how we're all puny, just like just the size of Mickey Rooney, and he was only 5'2", so that's why they're referencing him. In the song.
Not even that short.
It's my height, and it's pretty short.
Yeah, it's not that bad though.
I think it's
for a
probably
guy. It's very short.
Estimation of all humans are about the size of Mickey Rooney.
That's true.
Especially if you count babies.
If you average it out,
I bet Mickey Rooney might be tall.
Oh, if you average it out with all the kids.
He's taller than Yoda.
That's true. and Yoda
important
rocks.
Fact.
Important fact. Number 25. But yeah, very cool. Great song at the end right there. So that pretty much does it for our 3 segments today. Now we're going to go ahead and give this episode a water tower rating. Who wants to go first?
I will.
I'll go first.
I just said I will.
Fine, I'll go second.
I'll just let you two fight it out.
I'll go second. I call second.
Okay. I call third.
Okay. I'll give it 3. Primarily just because I really like the songs in it. That's the one thing that saved it from a 2 water tower rating. I like the songs. Modern cartoon individual, and then Yakko's universe. A lot of fun. catchy tunes.
Very cool. Nathan?
I wanted to go first because I was going to give it 3-2.
Ooh.
And now it just seems like I'm copying. Yeah, so three water towers for me as well. And I think a main point is the first cartoon with the Captain Mel. The animation just bothered me enough that I couldn't get into that episode, really. And though I did like the Slappy Squirrel episode, still, you know. And but I do love the Yakko's universe, too. So that brings it back up. I didn't have the beginning black and whites thing, so that gives it an extra point. So, but I was just basically comparing it to the first episode, whether I liked it more or less, and I did about the same. So it's 3 water towers for me.
Okay, and I'm gonna give it 3.5. For the reasons I already explained. I love Pirates of Penzance. It's definitely one of my favorite movies, and I love just hearing Gilbert and Sullivan music. That for me, along with the Slappy segment, which was a lot better than I remember it. In fact, I would not be surprised if this is going to be perhaps one of my favorite Slappy Squirrel segments that we watch. Perhaps this might be right below the Woodstock one, which we talked about before the show started.
Because that's the best ever.
So we'll see. Because as we revisit Slappy Squirrel, I think I'm gonna end up getting a lot more of the humor that went over my head when I was younger.
There is one more Slappy Squirrel I really like, and that's Bumby's mom.
Oh, Bumby's mom is dead.
Oh yeah, that was a great one too. We'll have to when we get to him. We'll get to him when we get.
I just got excited.
Oh yeah, Bumby. Oh man, that is a good one too. So yes, Slappy Squirrel. I really liked it a lot more than I ever thought I would remember it, at least. Yes, so that was great, and 3.5 water towers for me.
Now it's time for the results of the last Twitter poll. Listeners were asked, who is your favorite secondary group of characters on #Animaniacs? And the results are as follows. 11% said Mindy and Buttons. 22% said Rita and Runt. 27% said The Good Feathers. And 40% said Skippy and Slappy. Unfortunately, the Hip Hippos could not be fit in onto the poll, but chances are they would have won if they were on. That's just my opinion. I'm the announcer. But now back to the studio with our commentators' opinions.
Okay, so that was our results. Nathan, Kelly, let's start with you, Kelly. Who would you vote for these choices here? Who's your favorite group? Secondary group other than Pinky and the Brain, of course, on Animaniacs.
Oh, that's tough. I would probably have to choose Skippy and Slappy.
Why is that?
Some of my favorite episodes are actually Skippy and Slappy. Well, I mean, I have some other favorites that are like Rita and Runt and the Good Pigeons, but I really love Woodstock Slappy and Bumby's mom, and their interaction is just so funny because Slappy's so old and, not old,
yeah, she's an old soul.
But her behavior, she's such a curmudgeon.
Yeah.
And she's so cranky. And Skippy's like hopping around. He's like, oh, look at Slappy. Oh, I'm so excited. And I'm eating cereal and I'm getting hyper and, everything. And they're just so funny and cute together.
Yes, Nathan, what do you say? Who's your vote going towards?
My vote also went to Skippy and Slappy. I was just trying to remember as a kid which segments I was most excited for, and it was between that and Good Feathers, I think, actually. So it was a tough vote between the two, but Skippy and Slappy won out. Probably because of those couple episodes that Kelly mentioned. That just classics.
Yeah, me too. For me, and honestly, it really wasn't much of a contest for me. I definitely went with Skippy and Slappy. Somebody mentioned on Twitter that Mindy and Buttons was Mindy and Buttons, when that segment came on, it was time to get up and get a snack. They really did not like Mindy and Buttons.
I think I remember one that I liked.
Well, I don't.
No, I don't know.
I honestly don't remember much of Mindy and Buttons,
Yeah.
but that's why we're going through it, so I can rewatch it and maybe I'll appreciate it more. But yeah, Skippy and Slappy. Again, Kelly, you mentioned Bumby's mom, which is definitely one of my all-time favorites, in the Woodstock episode as well, which is fantastic, and for all those reasons that you mentioned. So there we go. There's our results. And for our upcoming poll, we're going to post on the day of this podcast getting up on the interwebs. The next poll is we're going to do a kind of a science-based question for songs. Which one of these scientific / math / educational songs do you like the most? The first one's going to be Yakko's Universe, which was on our last episode, which is kind of like talking about how insignificant we all are. And then there's the Planet song, which is the closest to the sun is the planet Mercury, which is great. And then, of course, we have the multiplication song as well.
It's multiplication.
There. So we have those three choices. Which one of those songs, all sung by Yakko, so there you go, make the decision a little harder for you. Which one of those songs do you like the most? So go ahead and go over to twitter.com/Animaniacast to make your voice heard. So with that, we're going to wrap things up. Make sure to go on iTunes, leave us a positive review if you would please. And don't forget to subscribe as well. There are lots of different ways to get our podcast. Go to twitter.com/Animaniacast or facebook.com/Animaniacast to find out some of those ways other than iTunes. And you can always get in contact with us there on Twitter or Facebook, or you could also send us an email as well, which is animaniacast@gmail.com. Okay, so for Nathan and Kelly, this is Joey, and we are all here to say, we are the very model of podcast individuals.
Thanks, guys.
This podcast is not endorsed by Warner Brothers or Amblin Entertainment and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers logo, all names, pictures, and sounds of the Animaniacs characters or any other Animaniacs-related items are registered trademarks and or copyrights of Warner Brothers, Amblin Entertainment, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. All original content of this podcast is the intellectual property of the Animaniacast unless otherwise indicated.
Now that's comedy.